Oops. All right, starting the video off right, of course. So we're going to continue with some more differential leveling examples. Here's another one. So let's look at this picture, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up our notes. So we start by doing a little table, and let me choose another color. My table should be something like this. So we have station, we have our backside, the height of our instrument, our foresight, and the elevation. Alright, so we're going to set it up like this. And also, based on our picture, we can see that we begin with our BM1. Then we're going to have our turning point 1, turning point 2, here and here, and my benchmark 2. Then we're going to start filling this table up with, and I'm going to kind of try to keep it straight. Look at that straight line, isn't it wonderful? So I'm going to start filling it with the information that I can find from my, let's say that the measurements that I took. So I know that the elevation starts right here at 225. And I know that my backside, my first backside is 2.12. And my first foresight, there's not going to be anything. The first height of my instrument I can calculate. But then I'm going to have, this is going to be my 1.84, 3.29, and that's it. Okay, so, and my foresights are, in this order, 5.69, 4.07, and 5.77. So the rest of the table we can fill. So let me find another color. That blue works. So again, we know how to calculate this. This is going to be that plus that is going to give me this right here, which is 227.12. Okay. Now we can do, what do we do to find this number right here? Well, we are going to do, what did we say? This minus that equals that. So let me do it real quick with my calculator. 227.12 minus 5.69 is equal to 221.43. 221.43. Now this minus that is equal to, let's see, 223.27, and this minus that, sorry, this minus that is equal to 219.20. This plus that gives me 222.49. This minus that gives me 216.72. Great. And now if you want to check, you can add these. These add to 7.25. This column right here, if we take them all as this, negative 15.53. And if we add 7.25, sorry about the handwriting, it gets wonky at the bottom of the screen, we get negative 8.28. So what? Well, 216.72 minus the original 225.00 gives me indeed negative 8.28. So since these two numbers match up, then we are in great shape. All right, let's do another one. I would encourage you, highly encourage you to try this example before I answer it. Now, something that we haven't talked about very much is the fact that you can use Excel to set these really easily. And so I would suggest you try that. So meanwhile, let me set up the little table. You can pause or you can continue with me. It is up to you. So for this one, let's start our table with station, our backside, height of our instrument, our foresight, and the elevation. Okay. And then we have benchmark 1, turning point 1, turning point 2, and benchmark 2. And we know that our elevation begins at 548.566. So following the procedure that we've talked about before, I'm going to fill this out, 6.113, 6.971. This will be, let's see, 7.038, 4.802, and 2.050. And we can fill the information by using what we talked about before. So that plus that is equal to 552.507 minus this gives me 545.469. This now is 551. Remember how we do this? That plus that gives me this 551.582. And now you see, this is what I drew, why I drew the lines earlier. It's really easy when you're doing it by hand to get all wonky. Okay, so here we get 546.780. This number is 553.751. And with that, I found my benchmark 2. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I'm not done. 551.701. Yay! So this is it. And we can check the work. All right, I have one more example, and this one looks a little different. So this is another way to take notes. So in this case, rather than show height of the instrument and all of that, what we are being shown is some backsides and foresides that don't, that aren't quite so well labeled, so obvious. So what this means is the following. So let me just show you. So I have station, backside, height of instrument, foresight, elevation. I do have my initial elevation. Initial elevation is going to be 1339.07. We have benchmark 1, turning point 1. So here we only have one turning point, and we have benchmark 2. And let's see, there we go. Oops. So whenever we see a number going away from a either benchmark or turning point, that's your backside. So this is 3.87, and this right here is 6.11. And whenever we see one that's sort of arriving at a turning point or a benchmark, that's our foresight. So this is 5.50 and 2.49. And then the procedure is the same as we've done in the previous examples. Let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, shoot. There we go. Okay, this plus that gives me 1342.94. That minus that gives me 1337.44. This is 1343.55. And this number right here is 1441.06. And that is right here, my answer. All right. So in any case, as the examples get, so if it's a short example like this, doing it by hand is great. If it gets a lot longer, doing it in Excel just makes sense. If you're going to do problems in Excel, just make sure you understand where everything's coming from and how to set up the formulas and everything, but it should be pretty straightforward.